Now, there was no beta update last week purely because there wasn't really a lot that changed in the beta, but there is a couple of things I want to jump in and show you right now. Oh, for did I say right now? I meant I'll be back in a minute.
3 hours later.
Now, in a recent video where I was talking about things to get ready during the pre-patch, and also yesterday I put out a video about things you don't want to miss on your way to level 90, I'll put both of these videos linked in the description below so you can go and check them out. I did actually mention one of these things, but if you're not interested in that video and you're just interested in what's updated, what's been new, all of that sort of thing, then there has been a change to how quick we're going to be able to get Valor. Now, if you don't know, in Mists of Pandaria, one of the really big slogs is actually getting Valor capped each week. Because back in Mists of Pandaria, they expected you to take part in pretty much all of the activities, none of them rewarded big amounts of Valor. Instead, it was just small amounts of Valor, but from lots of different things. So you would get Valor points as well as lesser charms that you need from things like daily quests. You'd get Valor from doing a daily challenge mode. You'd get Valor from doing your scenario. You'd get Valor from doing your heroic dungeons. And of course, the first heroic dungeon and the first scenario grant more Valor than subsequent ones that you do that day. Now, of course, you also got Valor from doing Raid Finder, which looks like it's not going to be in the game, and I don't want to jump down that rabbit hole. But quite honestly, what this meant is you did spend quite a bit of time focusing on getting your Valor cap on one character before you could really start worrying about anything else. Well, as we know, up until this point, getting Valor capped has been very easy because Blizzard started giving us ludicrous amounts of Valor from things like Twilight Dungeons, or even when we was doing Zul'Gurub and Zola Mam back in Cataclysm, they were giving crazy amounts of Valor as well. Now, this is a really good thing because at the rate we consume content when it comes to Classic WoW, it's really important that we can play ults because we want to get things done on our main character and then be able to go on an ult and get the things done on that as well. Raid on multiple characters, just because we do get through the content so much quicker. So making Mists of Pandaria as ult-friendly as possible, in my opinion, is going to be very important. So as I say, it's a really good thing that Blizzard has noticed this and they've put the Valor up anyway. So a random heroic, the first one you do a day, now gives you 200. So assuming the Valor cap stays at 1600 and we get the rolling Valor cap like we've had throughout Cataclysm, you can almost Valor cap literally just from doing one daily heroic a day. Any random heroics you do further than this, you're going to get 100, and you're probably going to do a decent amount of challenge modes anyway. So if you come underneath the bottom of Shrine, you'll also be able to get a quest each day, which is to go and complete a specific challenge mode. So in this case, it's Storm Stout Brewery. Now, this also gives 80 a day, on top of the fact that if you look at the challenge mode and you get a specific time, you'll also get a bonus 85. Now, at the moment, all of these are showing 85, whereas before, you'd actually get 40 for bronze, 50 for silver, and 60 for gold. Now, I would imagine this is going to change from 85, and you will get increased amounts of Valor depending on whether you get bronze, silver, or gold, but maybe they're not that bothered about that, and they just want to keep it as, look, if you just complete it within just the maximum amount of time, then you're going to get that bonus Valor being 85, which I wouldn't actually be against, to be honest with you. But that just means by doing the one challenge mode daily each day and just beating the time, so getting either bronze, silver, or gold, which bronze really is just completing the dungeon, then currently the way it looks, you're going to get 165 from that. You're going to do a random heroic, which is going to take you all of 10 minutes for another 200. So excluding any daily quests you do or any other source of Valor that you get, so if you was to do a few more random heroics to get 100 each time, in like 5 days, you can literally cap just by doing random heroic and a challenge mode daily. That's it. Move on to the next character. So if these numbers do stay the same, I would say that makes it very ult-friendly, because only having to do 2 dungeons with, okay, one of them being a challenge mode that's slightly more difficult to complete, it's not a long slog to worry about getting Valor capped. So that was the first thing. The Valor cap from heroics is increased, and yes, you get some Valor from doing scenarios as well, but quite honestly, there's not really any gear in scenarios that you're going to want, so you'd be much better off going and doing a random heroic, where at least you've got a chance at maybe a 476 epic from the last boss, maybe 463s. Early on, obviously, they're going to be an upgrade. So scenarios are something that would be quite low priority, but if you just needed a little bit of extra Valor and you want to jump in a scenario, or you want to just get the achievements, then why not? Now, this next one is a really big one, because when we're talking about the game being ult-friendly, this is one system that makes the game incredibly ult-unfriendly, and currently on the beta, it's in its worst possible state. So this is where you get your bonus rolls from. Each week, you're going to speak to him, and you're going to hand in lesser charms of good fortune. Now, there's lots of ways you can get these lesser charms. You get them as a reward from doing daily quests, so when you're doing your reputations, you're naturally going to get some anyway. You can get them from pet battles, which is my preference personally, because I can just stand in one spot, pretty much spamming one button on my keyboard while watching Netflix, and I'm going to get lesser charms. You can get them from high level mobs just by grinding out in the open world. So there's lots of ways that you can get them, but the thing is, they're not account bound, they are bound to your character. So because you can get 3 bonus rolls per week per character, and you're always going to want to get those 3, it almost becomes a chore to have to get these lesser charms. Now, back in original MoP, when it first launched and they cost 90 lesser charms to get your 3 bonus rolls, and they eventually lowered this down to 50. Now, Blizzard have put this up to its original value of 90 lesser charms for the 3 bonus rolls. Personally, if these lesser charms are not on Blizzard's radar already as something to actually make positive changes with, as in make them account-wide or make it so you can spend 90 lesser charms for a token that you can send to your ult. So maybe on that vendor where you hand in the 90 to get your free rolls, you can actually hand in 90 to get a bind on account token that you can then send to your ults that gives you 90 lesser charms. I know it seems like a convoluted way of doing it, but it might be a bit easier than Blizzard having to make these lesser charms fully account-wide. So personally, I think they should be 50. It should be 50 for your bonus rolls if Blizzard are not doing anything about it. If it's staying at 90 because they are already thinking about how they can make these account-wide or make it a lot easier for people to do, then great. But ultimately, for as many characters as you raid on a week, you're going to want to be getting these 3 bonus rolls every single week. And with it being 90 lesser charms, honestly, that's a bit of a grind. Now, it can be made quicker by being in a group because they don't actually drop from the mob. They just go straight into your currency. So everybody could get 1 from the same mob. So if you've just got a full 40-man group and you're just running around on something that's got really quick respawns, there was a popular place around Gulai Halls in Vale of Eternal Blossoms where everyone would just group up and just kill loads and loads and loads of mobs, and everyone would get their 90 charms pretty quick and move on. But if you're not that sort of person who wants to sit and do that, because that is also extremely boring, then again, you've got pet battles, you've got dailies, you've got ways of getting them. But not only have you got a Valor cap each week, you've also now got to get 90 lesser charms on every single character to get your 3 bonus rolls as well, which, don't get me wrong, it's purely optional. I'm not saying you have to do it, but let's face it feels pretty bad going into a raid not having bonus rolls. So even though, yes, it's optional and it's something you don't need to do, odds are you're going to do it. So while I don't know if it was intentional by Blizzard to put this up from 50 back to 90, I have no idea, but it is 90 currently on the beta, and in any video you've watched from me, I'm always referring to it being 50 that you need. Now, what I'd like to see personally is them just make this currency fully account-wide. So you can play your main character that you really enjoy playing and just go out grinding for ages to get loads of lesser charms, and well, you can just log on your ult and spend them anyway. Like, for me, that's the ideal situation, but ultimately, I think the system as a whole is something that Blizzard do need to look at, either by reducing it back down to 50, making them account-wide, making them easier to obtain, having them drop from bosses in raids. Like, there's many things that Blizzard can do to actually help this situation, like they've already helped the situation with how monotonous it is to get Valor capped every week. So this wasn't a very long video because there's not that much to update you on the beta since Thursday, to be honest with you. The update was fairly minimal. These 2 things we've spoke about in this video could have even been in the reset before and just slipped through the cracks that I've not noticed. But I am expecting quite a big update this week because I've heard on the grapevine lots of different things that are meant to be happening this Thursday ahead of the raid test this weekend. So remember, if you've got beta access this Friday, we're going to have Heart of Fear and Terrace. I am going to be streaming it all on Kick, and I'm going to try and get a couple of Twitch streams in during the week, this week as well, where I will be streaming on Twitch and Kick. Links to both of those are in the description below. But for the raids, I'll probably just be on Kick because I'm not really going to be talking that much to the stream. I'm going to be more focused on the raid, especially because Heart of Fear is a lot harder than Moggisham Vault, so I think there's going to be a lot of wipes in my future. But as always, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to like and subscribe. What do you think Blizzard should do? What do you think they should do around lesser charms and getting your bonus rolls? Should they keep it at 90 and just increase the rate at which you're getting them? Should they make them fully account-wide? What do you think? Make sure you check out Rested XP in the pinned comment and the description below to pick up your guide to be, well, the fastest way of leveling and get all the extra little bonuses you get thrown in. Consider joining the channel as a member, and I'll see you on the next one.